Okay. All right, ladies. Well, welcome to our monthly meditation break. This is our time where we check in with our bodies and our minds just for a few minutes and check out of the kind of hustle and bustle of life. It's time where we take to settle, to just be here now, sharing hopefully what y'all feel is a very calm space together. And so I thank you for being here each month when you're able to make it. I'm certainly grateful to be here with you all as well. And so today we're going to talk about anxiety. This came up a little bit last session. I think it was Veronica who maybe asked a question about being anxious, particularly at night. And so I wanted to dive into that a little bit more this time and how yogic practices can help us manage anxiety and stress as it comes up. And more importantly, maybe before it even starts for us. And so, increased stress and depression and anxiety are all features of our modern day lifestyle. It affects us all to some degree or another. And the pandemic has added greatly to everyone's level of those things. I came across a study just from this past January that shows that rigorous home quarantine and the social isolation ultimately resulted in significant adverse effects on the psycho-emotional well-being of people worldwide of all ages. And according to the World Economic Forum, 2.6 billion people were under social isolation and quarantine, leading to a stress-related disorder pandemic of sorts, one of emotional distress for us. So many of us are experiencing significant stress, anxiety, and depression, causing emotional, psychological, immunological, and metabolic imbalances for some of us. And the study also found that those that have had COVID, they themselves, their family members, and many others have gone through some degree of a common mental disorder around depression or anxiety, which along with their physical health issues has greatly affected their quality of life. And so it's important for us to remember when stress and other negative emotions go unchecked, it leads to anxiety and panic attacks that can be crippling. And perhaps maybe you all have felt that at some time or another. I certainly have in years past have been in that state of kind of chronic anxiety and panic. And when we get to that place, it greatly impacts our work, our personal lives, our health, our happiness, all of it. And so when we talk about what we can do, we can equip ourselves with ways to overcome the stress and the negativity by boosting our physical and our mental well-being, like the various techniques that we talk about here in these sessions. And science has a new understanding of the reciprocal communication between the body and the mind. With that understanding, it makes anxiety far more preventable than we previously knew. There has been a common misunderstanding in the past, and I think it still exists to some degree today about people with anxiety. And it's this idea that it's just a chemical genetic imbalance that we have. That's what we were led to believe 2 decades ago when these new medicines came out that were designed to correct that chemical imbalance. But we now know today instead that anxiety is largely based in the state of our physical body and something that we can change. When our body is out of balance, our mind is as well, and vice versa. So we can take steps to get our body into better balance and help to ease those anxiety symptoms. One of the first things that we can do is focus on our diet and some of those lifestyle choices. So again, many people today recognize that mental health impacts the body. So understanding there's this kind of top-down messaging that a thought like, oh crap, I know I have a really stressful meeting tomorrow, or I'm going to have this conversation with this person and it's going to be really uncomfortable. Those thoughts could impact the physical body, say with an upset stomach or a headache or other aches and pains. And what's less widely recognized is the delicate and deeply interconnected web of back and forth communication between the body and mind. So not only does the mind communicate with the body, but the stomach in particular is communicating with the brain. So issues with our digestive tract that can be created through chronic stress, too much processed foods, other poor diet choices, harmful substances like too much alcohol or drugs or pesticides can compromise that ecosystem of bacteria in our digestive system. And that can lead to an unhealthy, inflamed gut lining. And then that triggers a message to the brain that says things aren't okay down here. And when our physical body is out of balance, it tells our brain to feel anxious. And that chronic anxiety can deplete us over time, leaving us in this kind of steady state of overwhelm, depression, and dis-ease, which are all manifestations of the brain saying, I'm not okay. And so good lifestyle choices and nourishing, well-rounded diet can help to ease those symptoms of anxiety and depression. And so the idea is to try to approach food the way our great-great-grandmother's culture did. And that is by eating a balance of minimally processed protein, carbohydrates, healthy fats, fruits, vegetables, and trying to eat, what we can get here locally and what's in season where possible. Another key thing we can do to manage our anxiety is to complete the stress cycle. And what that means is that when we get stressed out, what happens is we activate our fight or flight response, right? And we start to pump all these kind of stress hormones, and then we don't properly release them. And so balancing the nervous system is critically important to regulating our anxiety. Feeling anxious or going into that panic happens when our system tips into that stress response, and we feel those physiological things like the adrenaline pumping, our heart rate goes up, our breathing gets faster. And so this stress is inevitable for us, as I mentioned, in each of our days, but many of us have accumulated a lifetime of it, but have failed to complete that stress cycle by releasing that pent up energy. And then it manifests for us in various ways. And so animals seem to know instinctively how to discharge the spike in adrenaline they've experienced and to reset their nervous system. So an antelope when it has a life or death encounter, it shakes uncontrollably. And when a goose comes away from an altercation, it flaps its wings in a particular way, in essence, really dissipating that stress and that fear and those stress hormones that they've accumulated. And we as socialized humans, again, have no shortage of stressors, but we often lack a practice for releasing the lingering effects of it. And so for some of us, exercise fits that bill. That's why we talk about getting some degree of exercise on a daily basis, because we encounter stress on a daily basis. And so walking, or even better yet, a rigorous form of exercise helps us to dissipate that stress. But creative expression is also really good. So singing and dancing and drawing and journaling and therapy and talking and cuddling, maybe playing with your dog or a cat or another animal that you love, having a belly laugh or having a good ugly cry. All of these reset our body, telling it that the threat has passed and now I'm safe. It also increases our awareness of what the body is trying to communicate to us. So true anxiety comes from our body's attempts to communicate, but goes unheard, and we need to listen. So there's a quote by a famous poet named Rumi that says, "These pains you feel are messengers. We need to learn to listen to them." So again, the pain we feel, the discomfort, is telling us that we need to make some changes. And if we don't, it can manifest in other ways, like in forms of anxiety or stress. And so the third things we can do are all around my favorite, which are practicing mindfulness and these yogic type techniques. So there is a grounding technique, and it came up again after, of course, Veronica asked her question last week about what we can do when we're in this kind of state of anxiety or maybe going into a panic attack. So there's a technique called the 5-4-3-2-1 method, and it's a very simple, effective way for us to regain control of our mind when anxiety and other emotions threaten to take us over. And what it does is it grounds us in the present moment through our senses. So I want us to watch this clip and then we'll try it while we're watching this, and we'll see how we do with it. So here we go. This is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So let's take a look. Okay.
Anxiety building. When you feel like the anxiety...
Hold on. Here we go.
Have you ever heard of the term grounding? Grounding is a simple but effective therapeutic mindfulness technique that can be used to help you when you feel anxiety building. When you feel like the anxiety is taken over, when you feel numb, like you're in a dream, lost in past events, or having an out-of-body-like experience. Grounding helps bring us back to the present moment, the here and now, to help us realize that we're safe and in control of our reality and emotions. It helps us find calm and strength in the present moment. A couple of tips to consider when using grounding techniques are: keep your eyes open. When doing grounding techniques, make sure to keep your eyes open so that you can see and focus on what's around you right now. It's also a good idea to speak out loud, describing what you're seeing and doing. And practice makes perfect. Like any other skill, it's important to practice grounding techniques, even if you're not feeling especially bad when you first give it a go. That way, when you find yourself needing to use it, you'll already know what to expect. So, although grounding exercises are essentially a distraction technique and unfortunately won't tackle the underlying causes of anxiety, they can help you to manage some of the symptoms if they're causing you to feel overwhelmed in the moment. As you feel your body becoming anxious, you can use grounding exercises to hopefully reduce the spaced out feelings and prevent the spiral downward into a panic attack. One of the most common grounding techniques is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise. And if you're interested and ready to give it a go, it goes like this. Start with deep breathing. Breathe in for 5 seconds, hold the breath for 5 seconds, and breathe out for 5. Continue this pattern until you find your thoughts slowing down. Take a moment now. Breathe in for 5 seconds, and breathe out for 5 seconds. So, the technique. 5. Acknowledge 5 things around you right now that you can see. Maybe a painting on the wall, your favourite teacup, the swaying branches of the trees. However big or small, acknowledge 5 things that you can see right now with your eyes. And 4. Acknowledge 4 things around you that you can touch. Maybe your mobile phone in front of you, your feet touching the floor, the bedside table, the cold air blowing against your skin. Acknowledge 4 things that you can feel right now with your hands or your body. Three. Acknowledge 3 things around you that you can hear. Maybe it's the buzz of your computer, the chatter of people outside, birds singing, cars passing by on the street. Use your fine-tuning and see if you can hear ambient sounds that you might not normally tune into. The hum of the refrigerator, the clocks ticking, the rain pitter-patter on the window. Acknowledge 3 things that you can hear right now. Two, acknowledge 2 things around you that you can smell. This one might be tricky if you're not in a stimulating environment. If you can't automatically smell something now, maybe move around until you can find a new scent. Walk into the bathroom, take in the different scents of the soaps. Step outside, find any scents in the garden. You can even lean over and smell a pillow on the sofa. Could you smell toast in the kitchen? Grab a pencil, take in the scent. Whatever it may be, find and acknowledge 2 different smells around you now. 1. Acknowledge 1 positive thing about yourself. Anxiety can leave us feeling inadequate, or have us believing that we're overreacting and getting worked up over nothing. But taking time to address your feelings is an accomplishment. There are many good things about you. Take this moment now to think positively about yourself. Acknowledge 1 positive thing about yourself. And now we've completed the 5 steps. Continue taking a couple more big, deep breaths. And remember, celebrate your success once you've finished this grounding technique. Recognize that you were able to ground yourself and prevent the anxiety spiral. This will help you remember that alleviating anxiety in the moment is possible. And if you've practiced this before, the next time you feel your anxiety returning, remind yourself of this success.
Okay, so there we have another tool in our toolkit. So I've done this several times myself. I've walked my husband through it. I've used it myself when I felt myself spiraling up into an emotional situation, and it has worked every time. It's not, again, going to solve the root of what's making you stressed or anxious, but it will ground you, hopefully calm you down so that you can react better. So hope that perhaps you might find an opportunity to use that as well. So we'll talk also a little bit more about yoga and how we can use yoga to manage anxiety and stress and other negative emotions. So yoga includes both exercise and relaxation of the mind. And there's a commonly practiced form of yoga called Hatha yoga that involves the asanas, which are the exercise portion, the stretching and the movement. There are postures. There's pranayama, which is the breathing aspect of the system of yoga. And then there's meditation. And yoga is considered a sacred practice, very effective in obtaining physical strength, mental balance, as well as spiritual growth. And it's been an essential part of Indian culture for thousands of years because it's, again, proven to alleviate stress and improve overall well-being. Another study I found in the recent years supports that yoga can now be considered a complementary medicine for anxiety and depression because the study has found greater improvement in mood and decreases in anxiety and stress by doing a certain amount of yoga per week, 3 times a week. 60 minutes, maybe each session. And it has worked tremendously for me. Years ago, and some of you may know my story, about 8 years ago, I was a hot mess. I was riddled with anxiety and stress. I had chronic physical pain and discomfort and intolerances. And that's when I leaned into yoga and different lifestyle and was able to balance myself. And so today I'm in a much different place, and I'm able to more often than not act calmly and coolly in the most challenging of moments. And I've found, as I teach to you all, that it's hard for us to carve out 60 minutes a day, right? For me, what I did was break it into snippets. So again, talking about bit yoga, where we're just doing a couple minutes of stretch here, a couple minutes of stretch there, or daily MMs, which are those mindful meditative moments. Again, just a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. If we do that, those couple minutes here and there each day, we can easily achieve that weekly amount that will then get us feeling really good. And we focus a lot in these sessions on breathing, and that is because slow, deep breathing activates our rest and relaxation response. Breathing as if we're relaxed sends a transmission up to the brain that tells the brain that this organism is calm, causing a neurohormonal cascade that helps us relax our whole body. And so the more time in a day that we can put the body into that relaxation response, the longer it takes to activate the stress response. So it takes more to get us tripped into that fight or flight. So regularly galvanizing relaxation throughout the day creates a habit and establishes familiarity with a state of calm that we can come back to as we need it. It's as if you create this peaceful destination where in almost any moment, your mind and your body can return to rest and reset. And again, regular breath work does this for us, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time. There's many techniques out there. We just started with that, in for 5, out for 5. We're now going to try a relaxing breath exercise, and it's a 4-7-8 method. And so without straining, we're gently going to inhale for a count of 4. We're going to hold it for 7, and then we're going to exhale for 8. Now, with anxiety, it's important to have a loose, easy grip on this practice. Feeling like you have to control the breath perfectly is counterproductive. So we need to be easy with it. And if you find that when you're doing this, that you're starting to get more anxious or your heart rate is increasing, you should stop, okay? So we're going to practice this breathing technique. We're going to follow along with a lady by the name of Dr. Ellen Vora. She's going to guide us through just under 4 minutes, and then I'm going to move us right into our meditation. So you can go ahead and make yourself comfortable again. Go ahead and mute your microphone, because we'll do some kind of audible breathing. We'll breathe out loud here. Okay, so let's get comfortable. Let's try this exercise together.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ellen Vora. I am a holistic psychiatrist, and I'm going to guide you through a very brief breathing exercise that can help tip your nervous system into a state of relaxation. We're going to be doing something called the 4-7-8 breath, which involves inhaling to the count of 4, holding to the count of 7, and then exhaling to the count of 8. And the reason this works is that by allowing the exhale to be about twice as long as the inhale, that simulates the way we might breathe if we were genuinely relaxed. And that sends a communication up to the brain, telling our brain that we are in fact relaxed, whether or not it's completely true. And this helps tip our whole nervous system into a relaxation response. So with that, we're going to begin. I'm going to first guide us through a couple preparatory cleansing breaths, and then I will guide you through the first 4-7-8 breath, counting off how long to hold each part. And then I'd like you to do 2 cycles completely at your own pace, allowing it to feel easy, not strained. and then we'll close. So go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position, allowing your eyes to close. And begin by taking a cleansing breath, inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling through the mouth with an audible sigh. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling with a sigh. And let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At your own pace, inhaling to the count of 4. Holding to the count of 7. And a long, slow exhale to the count of 8. And as you're ready, take a final cycle, just entirely at your own pace. And whenever you get to the bottom of your last exhale, no rush. Just how your body feels. Notice your energy. Notice if you have slightly more access to a state of calm. And we'll take a final cleansing breath, inhaling deeply through the nose. Exhaling with a sigh. You can allow your eyes to slowly blink back open. I hope you've experienced some shift in your energy and perhaps you feel a little bit more relaxed. This is a tool you can use just about anytime, anywhere, and I hope it's helpful. Thanks so much.
Okay, so another tool for us. Hopefully you all maybe felt a little bit of a shift to calm and relaxation there. Again, something else we can tap into when we need it. So let's now move into our meditation. We're going to continue to activate that rest and relaxation response. So again, sitting quietly, comfortably. Maybe keep your hands in your lap with your palms facing up. Go ahead and gently close your eyes again. Bring your attention back to your breath. Just breathe naturally, not trying to force or control it. Just observing what it's doing. Following your breath in and out. Allowing your body to relax and to settle. Now put your attention into your heart and breathe easily here. Putting our attention in our heart space grounds us after a minute or so. Now we'll move into our So Hum meditation. And this is our mantra meditation where we silently repeat a word or a set of words with the idea that that mental vibration helps to settle the mind, helps us to move beyond the thoughts and the turbulence. And if so hum doesn't resonate with you, you can use another word or affirmation. You can follow your breath simply with an in and an out. You can say peace or love, whatever works for you. So now taking a slow, deep breath, think the word so. And then as you slowly exhale, silently repeat the word hum. Continue to allow your breath to flow easily with no effort on your part, simply watching it and silently repeating so with each inflow and outflow of the breath. And whenever you notice that your attention has drifted to thoughts in your mind, sounds in your environment, or sensations in your body, gently return to your breath, silently repeating so and allow that gentle vibration to take you deeper into the silence. I'll watch the time and let us know when to finish. Continue to sit with your eyes closed. Release that mental repetition. Bring your awareness back into your body, back into the room. Take a deep breath here. Maybe wiggle your toes and your fingers. Before we finish, let's plant some intentions for living harmoniously. So setting an intention in that silence we've just created helps to manifest them. So here are 4 things that we can intend for in our days. And if you'd like, you can silently repeat them to yourself. Joyful, energetic body. Loving, compassionate heart. Reflective, alert mind. And lightness of being and laughter. Let those intentions go work their magic. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Okay. Hopefully that felt good. You all felt maybe a little calm and settling down. Got a couple new tools for our toolkit to help us manage through some of these stressful days that we have. I'll see if y'all have any questions about anything we've covered or anything else in the space of mindfulness and meditation that I can help you with. Otherwise, I'll let you go carry on with your day.
Ladies, anybody have any comments or anything they want to share? Oh, we got some thank yous in the chat. Oh,
Yeah.
not ready to open your eyes, too relaxed. I love that.
That's good. Oh, wonderful. Well, keep going, Sherry. Keep going. Oh, good, Christy. I'm glad you enjoyed. I want to sleep. I want to sleep too. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you all liked it. That is wonderful. Oh, Londa. Well, maybe I think we recorded this. Yeah. Did we record it? So you can catch it again on replay. I think, where do you put that, Amara? Do you put that on your page?
We have a YouTube channel.
That's right.
So everything gets recorded and put on the YouTube channel, and then I will post it to the PWG page.
Wonderful. So we can catch it again if we missed it. Great. Okay. All right, ladies. Well, it's always good to spend this time with you. I love seeing you. Hope you all take care. Look forward to seeing you next month. These months are going by way too quick, but we'll see you next time. Bye now.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.